Last time on WPF's division, the Therian fighters tragically fell to the New Britain Rockruffs after the introduction of a new technique. However, our fighters must bounce back and attempt to defeat whoever the hell they're fighting against. The Blazikens, something Blazikens with Jamal. This is a really good intro.
Why don't you have a seat? What he does next may shock you.
Yeah, it may shock me that I have content to make, because I understand everyone's been asking me, Keith,
And
where's the
this
content?
episode on how to catch a predator.
You see, Mr. Keith, my wife, she has been most insistent about the content. Where's the content? Why aren't you getting the content?
Mr. Keith?
Where's the content? Why isn't the content here? Why aren't you go out and getting the content now? And so on and so forth. So please, the content.
Henceforth, the content.
Yeah, so the content's here. We're gonna be sort of
the greatest person of all time.
Yeah, so I guess this
Jamal.
is the
Wait,
one.
isn't this the one where you're doing the Dragon Ball Z intros, or was that?
Yeah. This. I'll edit that one myself. So basically, here's the thing. I went on holidays and then I was working and then I got sick. So basically, I haven't been able to record a bunch of weeks. So we're doing a lot of backlog, which will involve the fun game of us trying to remember the point of the sets that we made.
Which is a fun game I play every week when I record, because my opponent's all John. I got in contact with my opponents on the Monday and said, hey, when do you play? And the first one responded, said, oh, can we play on the weekend? And I said, no, I can't play on the weekend. I'm going to be on a bus for, 18 hours or something? Stupid. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be so much fun.
But there might be some live content, so
there will be in-person content from the two of us, because I will be borrowing his holiday home. Yes, he owns a holiday home because he is a member of the bourgeois. And I definitely will not be planning a revolution.
Look, I should be eaten. Let's be real.
Yes. Don't worry, I definitely got plans for that while I'm up there.
Oh, cute. Okay. So
I always forget that you don't play music live when you record. That's so weird.
Yeah,
You're weird. You're so quirky. Oh my god.
I'm not like most PokeTubers.
I'm not like other PokeTubers at all.
Yeah, so we're playing Jamal. I believe at this point he was I can't quite remember what he was at this point.
I can check. What's the name of his team again? I don't know.
It's the don't look at this, everyone. Wait, okay, I just covered the screen with my hand as if that would be able to block the people.
The Boston Blazikens.
The Boston Blazikens.
Which means, at this point, he was 1-1.
Okay.
Having lost week 1 to Karma with an 0-5 differential, and having beaten oh no, it wasn't Habita. Who the fuck did Habita replace? I don't know, some dude who lost a bunch and then raged
Slick
it.
Panther. Oh no, he lost a bunch, got his incredible team and made it terrible, and then dropped. Like that's.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
no, that wasn't Snow. That was Boot.
That wasn't
Boot. Boot is the one that replaced. That's the thing, because this was Boot was talking
it was
about.
Tezzy. It was Tezzy and the London
there you go.
Lycanrocs. I think promoted from last season.
No, he was in Estiv last season.
Was he in Estiv?
Yeah, he was in last. No, he only dropped because he's basically going to be away for a couple of weeks. So it was like, oh well, I might as well drop. Yeah, sorry. Apologies to.
He still.
Yeah.
I mean, he still didn't necessarily have the best record. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Apologies to Slick. I mixed you up. I'm sorry. I don't actually remember how well you did. I just remember Boot complaining about you dropping a bunch of Pokemon. If you're watching. So Zap. Yeah. So his team: Zapdos, Galar, AG Slash, H Dragon, Raikou, Blastoise, the fake Tapu Bulu, Licky, Mesprit, Mega Camerupt, Weezing, and Octavish. Yeah. It's an interesting team.
It is an interesting team. He does have the young, unsupported Octavish.
I think it did like some actual decent stuff, if I remember. Like it did something 1 week. I think it's been dropped now, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He like massively reformatted his team.
Yes, just then.
And I'm pretty sure his replacement team was actually pretty effective.
I think he only just replaced it.
I
don't want to. Okay, you can check.
Is the record?
Please check, sir.
Okay, well, I guess which Pokemon it was in the slot before must have gotten a lot of KOs, because currently it's listed as a Pokemon which he picked up having a lot of KOs, even though obviously he hasn't had them for any games, so that doesn't make sense. Oh, okay, I see. That's because of the way that this is set up. That's weird.
Man, I can't believe I covered the screen with my hand trying to tell people not to. That's the most bimbo thing I've ever done.
That is
no,
not
himbo.
the most bimbo.
That's it. Himbo. It's a himbo thing I've ever done, because I am totally a himbo.
You are a himbo.
Yeah, so looking at this team, I don't know, it's pretty good, but it's kind of slow. That's a big issue. That's really nice, Taunty being the fastest Pokemon. And it also means that I pretty much knew going into this that Zapdos Galar is going to be Scarf, because it kind of has to be. Because otherwise, like Raikou being the only Pokemon faster than, Taunty, not Taunty, Thundurus T is pretty bad. Because Thundurus I thought was pretty good here. But yeah, so basically going into this, I knew Zapdos Galar had to be Scarf. Raikou absolutely positively has to exist, because otherwise this team is just sort of run over by Taunty. Let's look at the team that we prepped.
Not to say the team is necessarily not run over by Taunty with Raikou.
Yeah, but I mean Raikou at least, it's got Spadef. I wouldn't be, because I don't quite remember, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Assault Vest. But so the first Pokemon we picked was Taunty. Heavy Duty Boots, because just put Heavy Duty Boots on your Taun every week. Why not?
It doesn't matter if they only have one rocker.
They have
2 rockers. They have Mesprit and Mega Camerupt.
Yeah, but they're both okay. They're both okay rockers.
Yeah.
And it's better to be safe than sorry. So we picked Air Slash over Hurricane because we didn't actually need the damage difference, and not missing's pretty cool. Then there's, Heat Wave so that we could hit stupid AG Slash, which was the other non-Raikou Flying Resist. And then Nasty Plot and just Knockoff, because Knockoff's a kind of cool item. Yeah.
Yeah, Knockoff is a cool item. Knockoff is a cool item now, is it? Is that what Knockoff is?
Cool.
It's an item?
Peek behind the veil.
Is good. Basically, we figured that there were two things we wanted Taunt to do. We wanted to have support in the early game, and we wanted to win in the late game. So we gave Knockoff the support in the early game, and we gave Nasty Plot 2 attacks for win in the late game.
Yep. Okay.
Because a knocked Raikou is very limited against this team. Especially if you knock off a Leftovers or maybe a Vest, it does just really long-term change what it's able to do.
Yes. Okay. Pokemon number 2, King Midas, the Assault Vest KabuTOPs. Now, when we found this, this team, we had no idea why Assault Vest KabuTOPs was up, and we went to our Discord chat because we built this team together, and the only calcs we saw was about how it was tanking Fire Blast from Mega Camerupt. So that's totally the only reason. Not the AG Slash. Let's pretend it's not actually about the AG Slash. It's just for tanking.
It's not the Mesprit. It's not the Blastoise.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that it can sometimes live a Raikou or Thunderbolt. Definitely the only reason.
Well, there's a bulky Raikou Thunderbolt too.
I will say though, there is certainly evidence to suggest. I mean, I guess it does make sense, right? Because how likely are they to click Earth Power against a team with that many ground immunities? I suppose.
There's one Pokemon where they click it, and that's against Toxapex.
Yeah, that said, I'm still pretty sure it was like for the other ones, and less so the main camera.
But like that's
Which
the
was,
only
like-
calcs we had.
It only does 130% through the assault vest with Earth power if it's uninvested, you know.
Well, you know, it's
So
pretty
it's only
good.
130%, you know. But that's a solid roll. I'm sure you can get the roll, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's got flip turn because flip turn pretty good, rapid spin because rapid spin pretty good, knockoff because knockoff. It's a very support based poke. It's a very very support sort of moveset. And also it's got Stone Edge because look at the rock resists. By resists I mean resist because it's AG slash.
It is in fact Badger Slash. Not to say that Zapdos Galar isn't capable of tanking on like one, but
Yeah, but
Chip and Zapdos Galar, like we said, Galar Zapdos is most likely going to be
running
Scarf.
scarf, yeah.
So it's very likely to be permanent damage, especially because Licky Licky is the Wish support, but they do also have Mess with Healing Wish. But not too sure when either will get a ton of opportunities to be able to spread that into Zapdos Galar specifically, because like a lot of this team, Zapdos Galar doesn't love switching into, and
Yeah.
the ones it does is
Like that's the
probably
thing.
not
Like
staying in front of Licky Licky, right? Like
yeah.
Licky Licky clicking Wish is probably being teleported on by Blissey, and that's a Pokemon Zapdos Galar doesn't mind coming in on, but it's probably not going to be in on the turn that the Wish is coming down.
Yeah, like, I think looking at this thing, because you can see the team in the record, I think the only real Pokemon that Licky Licky is clicking Wish on risk-free is Toxapex, but Toxapex kind of is fine with Zapdos coming in on, like, a Scald, and also
absolutely.
fine with the turns to, you know, just do general Toxapex bullcrap.
Shenanigans. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So speaking of
so
Toxapex shenanigans...
Toxic Spike, Scald, Haze, and Recover, because what's a knockoff? That's what the other two Pokemon are.
Yeah, that's basically, that was the thing. Well, yeah, we have two knockoff users, we don't necessarily need a third. And Haze was so that bulk up Zapdos Galar and set up AG Slash, and weren't much of a problem. You could also say, like, you know, and also frickin' Shell Smash Blastoise. Like, there's actually a surprise,
Right,
like
yeah,
a
that's
lot
what
of...
this whole quest was actually supposed to be for. Supposed to take one hit from Shell Smash Blastoise.
There you go. Genius.
I'm trying to remember why I suggested that, because I remember suggesting it. I was like, well, we have 4 moves.
Well, because
none
we
of them
had
support.
another Assault Vest KabuTOPs in round 1, but that was so that it could live a Coco Thunderbolt in Sand.
Yes.
But yeah, basically, there's a lot of setup, and it doesn't necessarily love, you know, it doesn't. I don't think it actually manages to haze out Nasty Plot Hydreigon and Calm-Mind Raikou, but you know, it's still just nice to have the haze, and we thought that was more important than the knockoff. And Toxic Spikes are pretty damn good, because it's not like it hits everything, but Raikou's probably not running boots, so it's hitting that. And it's hitting probably Tapu Bulu if it's coming, but I don't think it's coming. It's hitting Licky Licky if it's coming. It's hitting Mega Camerupt, and yeah, that's just good. Like a Tick of Poison's just really, really good here. So I thought, well, we both thought Toxic Spike good. Yeah.
Toxic Spike's very nice in this game. Like, there are just a lot of items that Pokemon are forced to use that makes it difficult for them to run boots on Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, like.
So like, well, they have a lot of.
You'd love a boots Raikou.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, so it seems on paper, it's like, oh, they have a lot of poison and, you know, like levitating poison immunities and levitating Pokemon. It's like, yeah, but, you know, there are just key Pokemon that they probably bringing that are just going to be crippled by toxic spikes.
We identified the main issue being Raikou, and Licky Licky being potentially also an issue.
Yeah,
and those
Mega
two Pokemon
Camerupt as well being a bit of a thing, because it's actually kind of scary. All three being poisoned. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely being limited by it, as well as Blastoise being limited by it, most likely.
Yeah.
It's just really good. I mean, even if it is like a Life Tube Blastoise, then the fact that it's losing another 12% per turn, that it ordinarily gets 31% per turn if it's leftovers on a Life Tube, and the fact that instead of that it's getting 19% is massive.
Yeah.
For defensive ones and for offensive ones, it just makes it easier to take down.
Yep. Alrighty. And then the next Pokemon was Parasophony. I'm slowly figuring out how to say the names that I gave my Pokemon. Persephone.
It's Persephone.
Persephone. Okay.
Yes.
Stealth Rock, Teleport, Seismic... Basically the OU set, right? Let's be real. But this is probably one of the OU sets.
I mean,
I'm not quite
Shadowball's
sure.
the other move on it because Spectre here, but it's not good. Like
Yeah.
it's absolutely not good, but I mean, people are running it, so you know. Yeah, but this is the main one.
Yeah.
Or Toxic instead of Rocks.
Yeah. So basically, it's here to shut down the special attackers of Raikou, Hydreigon, special variants of Aegislash. I mean, it's not like it does actually anything to special variants of Aegislash, but you know, it comes in on, like, say, a flash cannon and then it teleports out. You know, Shell Smash, Special Blastoise, Mega Camerupt. It's a pretty good pivot in this matchup. Boots, because boots are good. Yeah.
Yeah, boots are a good item.
We just sort of like to put boots on Pokemon. We put boots on a lot of Pokemon.
They're just generally a good thing to have.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if the opposing team had just run boots on all their Pokemon, then they wouldn't have to worry about Toxic Spikes.
I'm saying boots have made this team way better, right? Without boots, this team would be way worse.
Yeah, I mean, having multiple Pokemon which are 2 times weak to rocks is not fun. And Blissey struggles without boots because it just gets walked down a lot.
Yep.
That said, I honestly feel like I like regen mons a lot less now that boots exist because everything feels like it has regen now that it doesn't take rocks. Taunty being the main exception because Taunty's broken.
Well, because Taunty also has, you know, Nasty Plot and it's so good. Some people, they don't rate
I have heard
Taunty.
someone say that Taunty is not a top 3 mon right now. In the post Dragon Ball meta, that is to say. I can see the argument for it not being top 3 in the Dragon Ball meta, because Dragon Ball is obviously there, and then like Mew and Landorus Incarnate, people both rate very high. I think I think Taunty is better than Landorus Incarnate.
I love this Pokemon so much.
I think Barry is pretty small.
Yeah.
But like in a post Dragon Ball meta, those top 3 are the top 3. Just very solid, in my view.
Anyway,
Taunty's so.
It's so good. I just love drafting it. Anyway, let's go to Atremo. So we had the choice Scarfer basically because, you know, as we said, 99% sure Zapdos Galar is bringing a choice Scarf set. So I'll just bring the one that's a tiny bit faster. Yeah, just to really one-up.
Well, you may have scarfed us. You may have scarfed me, but I have out-scarfed you. You're out-scarfing me.
Oh, shit. This is like some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff here. I don't know why I said that. It's like 2. It's 2 in the morning, and I'm back from work. Give me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt good. Sludge Wave to hit Tapu Bulu, and also to hit Raikou neutrally. Focus Blast to hit Hydreigon, and U-turn over Volt Switch because I presume Mega Camerupt was going to come in a lot. So being able to actually pivot out, pivot away from Mega Camerupt is very good. Yeah. Just get any chip on this thing possible. And then last Pokemon is Mega Absol Pandora. I don't know, I can't quite remember why Will-O-Wisp was on it. I think it's just because we didn't have anything else to click.
Yes. I believe it was literally, we were like, well, this is a move.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that resists?
What's that? The knockoff resists Hydreigon.
Is for Bulu.
Oh yeah, it was for Bulu, that was it, yeah.
Fire Blast just like kind of mid damage.
Yeah, okay. Even though Bulu is not good here, but it could show up.
Yeah, Bulu is not very good against a million flying types, to be fair. But it still is not unreasonable to. I mean, there was nothing else to put in that move slot outside of like Sucker Punch, but Sucker Punch was not very necessary for the speed aspects, which we went over earlier.
Exactly. So that's the team, and anything you want to say before we jump on into this matchup?
Jamal's Boston Blazikens is a very uninspired team name, though.
Yeah. Okay, well, looking at this matchup, they brought Raikau, Septascala, Aegislash, Mesprit, Camerupt, and Liggy, which is basically a team, I think those are all fair brings. Like, Mesprit over Blastoise might have been a bring, but it's like, I think that makes sense as the team. Yeah. So let's jump on into it, right? Okay. So they led Zapdos Gala. Well, Zapdos Gala has a model now. And
Zapdos Gala does have a model now, as of like 2 days ago, I think it was.
Yeah. So I remember that the Zapdos Gala is in fact a Scarfer, so we both led our Scarfers. So, turn 1, he switches out because he has to, right?
Yep. Into 1, so he doesn't want to go Mega Camerupt on a U-turn because, he doesn't want to get caught in the flip turn void with the U-tops. So he has to go into a switch which can take a Thunderbolt if you're playing Thunderbolt, but can also take a U-turn and not instantly lose to the Volt Turn Vortex.
Yeah.
So that's why the Raikau came out.
Yep, and he got U-turned, so it was a smart play, but this is some chip on the Raikau already, which is pretty...
Yeah, exactly. Long-term chip. So then Blissey is pretty free here because you can just set up rocks. Yep. And I don't believe there's even a bullshit move that it can get to stop you.
Well, it's like this...
It doesn't get top.
Yeah, this can sub, I guess, but whatever.
It can't sub out Sargent because I believe it only has base 80 HP.
Yes, it might be 90.
Might be 90.
Regardless, this is pretty safe. They Volt Switch for 11%. I teleported.
It is 90 HP.
Okay. I teleported and I don't quite remember why. I think it was because they might have been bringing in Zapdos Galar and I just wanted to...
Yeah. Teleport made sense.
So
Teleport makes sense if you're predicting a Volt Switch, which does make sense against your team.
Yeah.
Rocks are also an option, but by no means mandatory.
Yeah, rocks. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I just wanted to say it's important to note that the Raikau is not leftovers, which made us think that it most likely was kind of a Assault Vest.
Yeah, I definitely think. Yeah, I think it's Assault Vest.
So it's like at that point you're like, oh well, obviously this is Assault Vest.
Because I'm 99% sure I remember it being Assault Vest.
Yeah, I mean when it's not doing that, and there's not really a significant Pokemon for it to beat with the Shuka Berry, because it doesn't really beat Landorus with the Shuka Berry. It doesn't really make much sense. It's like either that, a Pinch Berry, or Specs, and that was the Specs damage.
Yeah. Okay, so we go into Toxapex. They Shadow Ball, 41%, and I bring out a Toxic Spike. And that's pretty important, just because I want those... This one, I just want, Raikau, Camerupt, and Licky.
It was possible that Raikau's boots at this point, but...
Oh yeah, it is possible, but...
Yeah, sorry, that was the other thing. It's possible that it's boots, which would make sense considering they Volt Switched, but we're not entirely concerned about that.
Yeah. So then, he does that, so I bring in Blissey, Shadow Ball, Nom Nom Nom, Close Combat, which I did not expect, so it's a mixed Aegislash. Yeah. I remember it was actually really hard to figure out what the spread for this was, because it was it kept getting rolls, or it's it could be a really low specs rolls, or it could be high... I don't know, it was actually really hard to tell what was what.
Alright, yeah.
But with its minuses in comes Tornadus there.
I absolutely expected the Aegislash if it came to have CC.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's why, I'm pretty sure that was why we ran HP on KabuTOP's overall SpitF to get better rolls with
that makes sense.
God,
that makes sense. Okay, so we brought in Torn. They bring in
so
Raikau.
I'm actually curious about why you brought in Torn there.
I brought in Torn because it died to a Heat Wave now.
But doesn't that just broadcast that you have Heat Wave? I don't know. I would have brought in KabuTOPs there and gone for a knockoff.
I think, I guess, I was kind of scared of it, King shielding and then, having enough HP to activate a weakness policy or something. Because I didn't know what item it has. Like,
I guess.
so I wanted basically Heat Wave is just a very good sort of like thing for
Middle
that.
ground sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
But also I think I actually did expect them to go hard Raikou.
Yeah. So did you go for the knock or the U-turn?
I went for why did I go for Nasty Plot?
I don't think you expected them to go hard Raikou.
I guess I didn't. What did I expect them to do that? I don't know.
Licky maybe?
Possibly. Well, I went Thunderous.
Yeah, so Thunderous in right and Blissey obviously alternate. I don't know if Thunderous was the play. How much HP is Blissey on now?
35%.
Yeah, I probably would have gone Blissey to try and get it and heal it up. But no, if they had Aura Sphere, you would have died.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt into Aura Sphere.
And this is
Thunderous is just a Scarfer, which can use on
yeah.
it again.
So like because we know this is 100% probably a Soul Fest, so the fact that we're just chipping away at it is very good. And they stayed in, which is interesting. So then I bring in Blissey, and it scolds, and it does a tiny amount, but whatever.
Burn is not amazing for you.
Yeah. Fortunately, they do not actually have Aura Sphere, so we can get off the soft boiled, which is nice.
I think you probably would have lived Aura Sphere from that, 20%.
Yeah. So we just heal up. Psyshock doesn't do that much, so we're not looking too deep. And then they clicked Nasty Plot, and I clicked Stealth Rocks, and I'm in a bit of a pickle here.
Oh.
Okay, I specifically remember this. I am convinced this is called Burberry. I am 100% convinced that this is Colberberry because I would have bought Colberberry here, right?
I was just gonna say you could just U-turn on it with Thunderous into like KabuTOPs and like flip turn and stuff. Like you have enough Pokemon that outspeed this that I wouldn't be particularly super concerned. Because KabuTOPs does have speed for this, which I don't think we mentioned explicitly, but it does.
Yeah. So I went into Thunderous, clicked U-turn on it, 33%, went into Blissey. It ice beamed.
I don't know if Blissey is necessarily the one I would have sacked there.
Yeah, but like at this point, this is the turn that takes forever because it's me going, okay, what am I doing? Because Psyshock I think is actually killing KabuTOPs at +2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking like, what am I doing? I need, it's too much damage, but I'm 100%, like, if I U-turn on it again, 100%.
You just sack him off.
Yeah, basically I'm figuring out if I'm sacking KabuTOPs or I'm sacking Absol, because I am so sure this is Colberberry. I am so sure this is Colberberry. Because I think it actually turned out to be Expert Belt, but they hadn't hit a super effective move yet. So, like, that wasn't exactly anything I could do, but eventually I went Absol, because it's like, whatever, it doesn't actually, like, it's good against 8. Like, it's good, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't beat Camerots at all.
Yeah.
And the other Pokemon, it's not needed to beat.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it doesn't even have Sucker Punch for Scarfs out those.
Yeah, exactly. So I just went into this. They went into Raikou.
Yeah, because Raikou was dead. Raikou couldn't switch in. It could only switch in after something had died. Otherwise, it dies to poison now. So it was basically just a sack at that point.
Yep. And they brought in Zapdos. So then I bring in Thunderous Therian. U-turn. Camerupt.
I assume Absol dies to U-turn because it's a sad Pokemon.
Yeah, of course it does. Have you seen its like defensive stats?
It's a very sad Pokemon that I wish was better.
It's a sad Pokemon that's come to a lot of games.
Yeah, but that's just fast Dark type.
It's also because our team's weird. So is Kabu. Like, okay, spoiler warning: KabuTOPs has come to more games than Scizor and Toxapex combined.
I don't know why. What you thought drafting Scizor? That one never comes to games.
Oh, it's come to like 3 of them now. I think, or 2 at this point. It's good.
I love like we keep trying to justify bringing Scizor to games, and we just can't do it.
It's decent. Anyway, yeah. So
I actually question the Torn play.
Well, because the Torn play was because what else am I going into?
KabuTOPs or Absol, which you considered that you can sack Absol.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, Absol would have stopped the rocks. I just think that like, if a Fire Blast came out there, which is not an improbable play, Torn is probably the worst Pokemon to go into.
Yeah.
It just strikes me as a very ballsy play. Like you're basically calling them to either overpredict with Earth Power or to go for rocks.
I think I was predicting them to overpredict with Earth Power.
Yeah. I still think
expecting Sisyphus to come in.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough turn.
Yeah, but because I'm in clean, I miss an air slash. That was
That's
mean.
painful.
Yeah.
With the air slash, okay with that?
It had a chance to.
Clearly, Assault vs. KabuTOP was the
Basically, it meant even if it didn't KO, knockoff was KOing, right? So, like, it put it at a tiny amount, I think. So I just went KabuTOPs because it's not clicking, and he went hard licky, which, you know, probably predicting the switch, which makes sense.
Or predicting the air slash.
Yeah, or the air slash. Well, yeah, true.
He wants to preserve the counter up for Toxic Specs.
Yeah, true. I also, like, at the end of it, didn't actually know what this thing's, like, how much defensive spread this thing had exactly. So, looking at it, it's, you know, it might have actually died from that, I'm not sure. But I rapid spin.
Very nice.
Body press, but it doesn't do that much, because it's, thingy.
What's quick here?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Bring in Torn, clicks Wish. And here, I'm not letting this... So basically my entire thought process is this. I'm not letting this Mega Camerupt come in and get a wish. I'm just not doing it, right? That's not what I'm about. So I know that he's clicking Protect. I don't care. I have to air slash. Because I'm not letting this Camerupt get a bunch of health back.
Yeah.
I knock off, remove the Choppleberry. I don't actually know why it was Choppleberry. Maybe for Superpower Sizzle or Focus Ball, but it's like I don't exactly have like a.
Well, it's Fizz Death, right? So it must be for Superpower Sizzle, I guess, or Bulk Up Torn, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's.
But it's like, what does that actually do to like? Okay, so it takes.
Yeah, well, it might have flamethrower.
Yeah, it might. True.
So it could be for Superpower Sizzle. I guess it could be technically for Body Press from Bronzong. Superpower from KabuTOPs technically also, though I don't think you're ever running Superpower on KabuTOPs in this matchup. No. Or it's a Superpower from like Tornadus or even a physical Thunderous, because that technically can also bulk up.
Yeah, true.
Or, you know, Close Combat from Absol, but
okay.
I just feel like Knockoff is such more...
And again...
Well, given it's Body Press, it's probably for Close Combat from Absol.
That makes sense. That probably does make a lot of sense. Okay, so, yeah, I clicked air slash because I knew that was happening. Again, I wasn't letting this... I don't care if this thing has health. It's not exactly doing anything to Torn. And I just wanted to basically make it so that it's not ever coming into this Mega Camerupt. And, they brought in the Mega Camerupt, and then the Mega Camerupt is gone, which is huge. That is huge. Because then Toxapex kind of sort of outside of Mesprit, walls this damn team. Like, a Mesprit, it's going to chip every time with Scald, so it's like, you know...
It wears down the entire team pretty easily.
Yeah, it's very, very good now. So they go into that. I go into Thunderous, get the Brave Bird. Yep.
They don't have a Thunderbolt switch anymore, so...
Yep. So Thunderbolt is literally you have to pick a Pokemon. They picked Licky.
Licky, similar to Raikou, was basically dead.
Yep.
The only thing it could get a Wish up against is Toxapex, and I don't really see when Toxapex is in against it where it's not having taken a Scald. Like, they need to have lost a bunch of Toxapex and then want to Wish up with it. Into who? I don't know. So yeah, I can understand why they have it. It was basically a dead beast.
Yeah, no, it was a very good... It was the correct
You can just see how much impact this Toxic Spike is having, even though like half this team is immune to the poison from the Toxic Spikes. It is basically rendered Licky and Raikou not Pokemon, and it absolutely put in the work against
Mega Camerupt. Yeah, no, it was a very, very good bring here.
Sorry,
so they brought out Mesprit, and I'm still not sure what the actual spread of this is, so I'm playing it safe. Because this Thunderous is pretty important. I bring out KabuTOPs, it Ice Beams, does no type of damage because of that crafty Assault Vest. I click Knock Off, expecting to knock off a Culber Berry. It knocks off an Expert Belt. So that's interesting.
I imagine Knockoff didn't kill there if it was Culber.
Yeah, it did not.
Doesn't really matter though.
No, it didn't. I just
Like
wanted
you didn't need this piece anymore.
Yeah, I do not need this piece anymore, which is why I let it die. Very sad.
It's a very sad day.
Aegis comes in, Torn T comes in, nasty plot.
Torn just doesn't care. The only problem, like the only.
Well, I
bad
nasty
time
plotted
was
just
the
in case it was weakness policy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, basically, if it was weakness policy, I didn't want to give it a free weakness policy, so I nasty plotted, and it worked out. It's dead. In comes Zapdos.
He gets one kill.
Yeah.
And that's all it gets because you have the faster
Thunderous. Which Thunderous put in some work, let me tell you.
Yeah, it was a really good Scarfer in this game.
Yeah.
The fact that they had really janky speed tiers was terrible for them.
Yep.
I feel like it really crippled their ability to use Zapdos Gala. I think the transactions did make a lot of sense for this team.
What are the I'll have a look at the transactions because I just realized.
So the transactions were they dropped Camerupt, Arctivish, Hydreigon, and Bulu to pick up Megatron, Galarian, Moltres, Florges, and Tangela, and that doesn't help their speed tiers. I don't know why they made these transactions actually.
Yeah, I don't know. They need speed. They need some speed so that
Yeah, so they picked them up after Techno drops Megatron and Tangela.
Okay.
I don't think Galarian, Moltres, and Florges got dropped. Anything else? Florges is a really interesting one in the current meta. I feel like it's pretty well priced in SDiv WPF. Well,
yeah,
in WPF in
I know
general.
a lot of people hate it, but I don't despise it. Like a lot of
I've
people
enjoyed using it when I've had the chance to do an SBT.
Yeah.
It has really specific matchups, and it's kind of bad when it's not, and it's also bad when you're not using it offensively. But in terms of like, I mean, its attack is good enough, and its bulk is good enough that offensive sets often get chances. So when you're playing teams that are weak to fairies, it gets a lot of opportunities, which is solid.
Anyway, that was this game. That was pretty good. I think we'll have to wrap it up here because we've got a lot of content.
Yeah, and that's how you catch a predator.
And that's how you content.